Hi, Roger here to talk a little bit about different ways to end your story. If you've taken a look at the Michael Haig template, then you know he has an extremely cogent summary of the few different basic ways that most Hollywood style or mainstream movies or TV shows end. This is a slightly different take on more or less the same thing, but I wanted to do it through the lens of a character's inner needs and outer desires. So we have our protagonist, and as you know, he or she or they want something. They have their desire that they are conscious of and go after as their main goal in the story. They also have their internal needs, the thing that above all else will make them whole, will fulfill their destiny, will bring them happiness. Now, to boil it down, by the end of the story, your protagonist may get what they want, or they may not get what they want. And similarly, they may get what they need, or they may not get where they need what they need. Now, here's where it gets interesting. By combining these results in different ways, we end up with different endings. And if you calculate your story backwards from the kind of ending that you desire most, you can more effectively build your story. You can do that from the beginning if that's the way you want to, or you can do what you want forward, create your story any way you like, and then use this as sort of a backwards compatibility test. So let's just go through it really quickly. Your protagonist, let's say, gets what they need and gets what they desire. Well, that sounds like it's all good, right? And it is. They have everything they want, everything they need. It's what we call a happy ending. Now, the same thing can happen, but in reverse. They don't get anything. They don't get what they need, what they were after, and they don't get what they desire. And in that case, things are pretty rough, and that's what we call a sad ending. Now, to make things a little more complicated, what if your protagonist doesn't get what they desire, but gets what they need? That can happen. And that's what I call an ironic happy ending. It has a twist to it. It has a different feel than a straightforward happy ending. The reverse of that is if your protagonist gets what they desire and yet doesn't get what they need, and so are unfulfilled. And that, of course, is an ironic sad ending. Different feeling than a regular, straightforward sad ending. So, what are some real world examples of this? Well, these are just off the top of my head, but Back to the Future, happy, happy, happy. Marty McFly gets what he wants, which is to fix things in the past with his family and come back in one piece. And he gets what he needs, which is to create a whole person for himself who can make things happen for himself and the girl he loves, which in his case is to create a whole, intact, healthy, happy family unit. Romeo and Juliet. Well, if you've read the play or seen any of the 16 different versions that have been made of this play, you probably know that Romeo and Juliet both die in horrible ways. Nobody's really that sorry about it. Nobody fixes anything. Nobody gets what they want. Nobody gets what they need. Pretty sad stuff. If you've seen It's a Wonderful Life, that's that special ironic feeling that I'm talking about. The George Bailey character spends a lot of time at the beginning of the movie telling his girl, when he's younger, what he really, really wants in life more than anything else, which is to travel the world, build tall skyscrapers and bridges a mile long. He wants to shake the dust off the little town he grew up in. By the end of the movie, he gets absolutely none of those things. He's not going to go far afield to build big things. He's staying right home in the very town in which he was raised. And he's as happy as he could possibly be. If you've seen the movie, then you know why. But basically, he's gotten what he needs, which is a conscious knowledge of how much he touches the lives of the people he loves and everyone around him. He is fulfilled. And then finally, there's the movie Vertigo. On the poster, it says it's Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, and I happen to agree. There's one thing that the Jimmy Stewart character in this movie wants, and that is to somehow get over his terrible fear of heights, which were injected into him by a traumatic experience in the opening of the film. By the end of the film, he is standing on the extremely narrow ledge outside the window of a tall church belfry, looking down without any thought of himself or his fate. He has completely cured his vertigo, and he is living a hell on earth. He could not be more in despair or misery. He has gotten what he wants, but he has absolutely not gotten what he needs, which is love and a true connection to another person. All of these types of endings can result in extremely good movies. It all depends upon how well they're wielded and how good the writing is. But they all create slightly different or sometimes greatly different feelings in the viewer, and I think that's great.